everyone, so this is part 2 of my original Princess Jasmine figurine tutorial. If you haven't seen part 1 already, there's a link in the description box for it. And without further ado, let's continue our Jasmine figurine. And now we have to add the eyes on Princess Jasmine. So basically you're going to need 2 black bands for this part. So first you're going to take 1 black band and wrap it around your hook 4 times. 3 and 4. Like that. Now I'm going to attach this eye onto this right side here, and it's going to slide onto this horizontal band here. So what you're going to do is first you're going to take your hook and lift it off of the very right pin like that, just so that we release some of the tension. And I'm going to pick it back up with my hook, kind of stretch it out a little bit, and then I'm going to slide these black bands onto the band here, onto this horizontal band. This part can be a little bit tricky, so take your time. And basically you're going to slip the bands on. You can slip them on one by one if you need to, or you can slip them all at the same time. I like to grab as many as I can the first time I pull over, and then grab the rest of the bands left over on the hook. Like that. So now we have a black band that is slid onto our horizontal band, and I'm going to transfer this back onto the pin, and we are going to do that one last time onto the left side of Jasmine's face. So once again, take a single black band and wrap it around your hook 4 times, and now we're going to do the process on this left side. So I'm going to release it off of the pin, and then carefully slide these black bands onto that orange band here. Like that. And now I'm going to carefully transfer this onto the very left pin. Like that. And now we have one last thing to do, which is put on the little bubble hair that she has, so we're going to go ahead and make that first. Now, since we don't have a ton of room on our loom, we are going to have to do a couple transfers for this part, but they aren't really hard transfers, so you should be fine if you were able to do everything else up here. So first what we're going to do is we're going to basically just use our black bands for this part, and I'm going to start with one black band, and I'm going to go horizontally here, like that. And now I'm going to take double black bands and go horizontally the other ways, or double bands going upwards, double bands going upwards again, double bands going horizontally, like that. And now we are going to take 1 black band and wrap it around this pin 3 times. And now we are going to start the hooking process. So this is 1 bubble of her hair. So we're going to first grab these bands that go leftwards and hook them onto this left pin here. And then go in and hook the vertical bands and the bands that go horizontally at the top. And now the bands that go vertically. And now the 1 single band that holds it all together. Like that. So now what you're going to do is push the bands on this last pin down and take everything else off the loom except for what's on that 1 pin with the single band. So now you're just going to leave it here on this pin, like that, and we are basically going to do almost the same thing. Now I am going to go ahead and put 1 band going horizontally here, and then put double bands for our little square. So double bands going vertically now, and vertically again, and now horizontally. Now, instead of adding a cap band onto this pin here, we are going to transfer this over here. So basically, you're going to grab your hook, stick your hook into this pin here, and grab the bands here, like that. And now you're going to go ahead and transfer these onto this bottom pin here. And then you'll start the hooking process. So first hook the double bands that go to the left, and then the double bands that go to the right. Now the double bands that go to the left again. And now the double bands that go to the right, that go upwards. And finally, the one single band that goes to the left. So now you are going to remove this off of our loom. Like that. And now we have two little bubbles here for her hair, and we're going to make one more. So basically you're going to do the same thing, take one band, go horizontally, and basically we keep switching places where we put the square pieces on, so that way we can avoid this pin right here. So that's why I keep moving around. And so now we're going to take double bands and go horizontally, double bands that go vertically, and then the same thing on the other side. And now we're going to take double bands that go horizontally on the bottom. And now we are going to go ahead and stick our hook into these single chain here and transfer it onto the bottom pin here. And I made a mistake, so sorry, you don't need this band right here, so just go ahead and take it off that pin. Now you're going to hook leftwards, and then go up to the left, and then vertically. Now you're going to take everything off except for this pin here. You're going to stick your hook in this pin and grab all the bands here, pick it up like that. So you have this little bubble chain here, and I apologize, I did mess up here. You do not need this single band that was going horizontally, so go ahead and put that to the side. We are going to take this bubble chain and we are going to put it on this pin right here on the left. So this part is kind of complicated because, as you can see, we have a lot of bands on our hook here. So just put them on the pin in twos. So I'm grabbing the first two closest to the tip of my hook, putting them on the pin, removing my hook now. Now I'm taking the next two on my hook and transferring it onto the pin. Carefully take your hook out and take the next two, put them onto the pin like that. And now you're going to take the last two here and put them onto the pin. You can use whatever technique you'd like to place these bands on the pin, but I think putting them on in twos is the safest and easiest way. And so now carefully just kind of turn it so that way it's not in the way on your loom. And now we can finally start the hooking process. The first part beginning with this creation here is this bottom part right here, and it is the hardest part of the hooking process during this body and head part of the loom. And so after you do this, it's basically like a triple single, and you can probably whiz through it without my help if you have done the triple single before. So what we're going to do is a little bit different at the beginning. You're going to go inside the horizontal bands here, hook these two bands and place them on top. And do the same thing to the right side, go inside the horizontal bands and put them up. Now for this band here that we twisted like an 8 or an infinity sign, you are not going to go inside the horizontal band, you are going to go on the outside. Grab the triple bands here, remember there are triple bands, and hook them upwards. And it's going to look a little bit funny at first, but it's okay, that's totally normal. Like that. And now you're going to hook the triple single part up here. So basically I'm going to just hook the bands, and it does not matter what order you hook the bands, so you don't really need to worry about that as long as you hook the bands from bottom to the top. So now this part hooking these two horizontal bands here is a little bit different. You're going to go inside the pin and grab the bands. But instead of putting it on this vertical pin here, you're going to stretch it up to this top pin here. Same goes to the right side, but not to the middle. Stretch it all the way to the top here, like that. And now you're going to hook the bands that go horizontally after you've hooked the bands that are in the middle. Like that. And now we are going to hook the face. So what you're going to do, oh, this band fell off. Go inside all these bands here. Be very careful as to what bands you are hooking. And hook the double bands that go vertically here for Jasmine's neck. And then you're going to hook the bands that go horizontally. And vertically. And continue going vertically. And lastly, you're going to hook the bands that go horizontally. So now this part is a little bit tricky because on this left pin we do have this bubble little ponytail here. So you're going to make sure that you stick your hook inside all the bands here and then grab the horizontal bands. And now we are done, but we're going to do one last thing here. So I'm going to take double clear bands, but you can also take black bands or neon orange bands or whatever color bands you'd like. And I'm going to basically kind of tie off this creation. So I'm going to stick it across these two pins here. And I'm going to stick my hook inside all the bands here on this pin. And I'm going to grab these bands that are up here. So you can use your hands to kind of help your hook grab those bands at the top. This is basically just going to help our creation get held together. Since these bands are stretched across those two pins, I'm going to use my left hand to hold them down like this so that way my hook can grab them a little bit easier. So I'm stretching my hook and I'm going to grab them. This part usually takes me a while, so I'll speed it up if takes me forever. Like that. So I've grabbed them onto my hook. Now I'm going to just pull them through all my bands here, stretch them up, put them on the top pin. Release the side on this left side. So now I have a single chain link going vertically. So now I can remove everything on my loom except for the bands that are up here. But before removing everything off your loom, you might want to make sure that your loom looks like mine. And now I'm going to start taking the stuff off. So now on this pin here where I have the clear band, I'm going to go ahead and grab my C-clip and slide it onto the clear bands that are here on my pin. And then now I can take it off of my loom after you make sure that your clip's holding on to all the bands here. And we have a few finishing touches before we are completely done. So first, on the side where her little ponytail's on the left, we do have double bands here that are at the top of her pant legs, and I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the double bands here, and I'm going to pull her leg through it, which sounds a little bit extreme, but it evens out the look of this a little bit better. So you can find the horizontal bands here, and mine are right here, and then pick them up and pull the leg through the loop. And this just evens out the look a little bit so that way the legs aren't sticking out awkwardly, like that. So that way both sides look the same now. And now what you're going to do is kind of stretch her body out everywhere where you think it is necessary. And as for her arms, they are a little bit short, but when I tried it out with one extra link in them, the arms were too long. So I decided to go with too short since I kind of stretched the bands out a little bit to lengthen her arms. And now we are going to need 3 gold bands for this part. So we're going to loop them across these little parts in between the bubbles in her little ponytail. So I'm going to wrap them around 2 to 3 times depending on your preference. I think I'm going to loop it around 3 times. So I've got it 3 times on this one here, and do the same thing over onto the bottom little bubble like that, which is a cute little accent. If you don't have gold, you can also use the color that you used for her outfit. And I'm also going to take gold and wrap it around her neck as a necklace. And I'm going to wrap it around twice, like that, as a little choker necklace that she has in the movie. You can also stretch her face a little bit to make the eyes a little bit bolder so that way they stand out more. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And we are done. So thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. Once again, this Princess Jasmine design is my own original design. I hope you guys like it. I spent a couple hours working on this because at first the arms were too long and then they were too short. And then the pant legs didn't look good, and it was a very long process perfecting everything. And I really love how her hair has little bubbles in it. I think that's so perfect. Please give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out, and also press the subscribe button down below for more videos. And also, please follow me on Instagram and Pinterest. My username for both is Tutorials by A. I will also have it down in the description box. On Pinterest and Instagram, I post tutorials that I posted on YouTube, as well as new creation designs that I have not posted tutorials for yet, so you'll get a first look at my new tutorials that are coming. Also, on February 14th, I have surprise tutorials coming then. These tutorials have not been seen by anyone. They are my own original designs, and I haven't posted pictures of them anywhere, so stay tuned for that. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Also, check out my other princess tutorials. I have a lot other princesses. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!